finally found her dead husband's checkbook. Here we see the original crew of the Starship Enterprise as they take a bow following their performance in Star Trek, the play. You can catch them at Ray's Dinner Theater in Skokie, Illinois through Sunday. Phasers on prime rib. Here we see Scott Persons and Dan Padian as they run with a tray full of drinks during the Kennedy Estate waiter auditions. After the announcement this week that diaphragms may cause toxic shock syndrome in women that wear them, plans were stopped to market these combination nightlight IUDs. Dr. Goran Klintman unveiled his new invention this week, the Norelco Super Shaver, which can shave a patient's entire body in under 3 seconds flat. Drug czar Bob Martinez looks on pensively when, during the announcement of the new Bush drug policy, he realized he was about to peak. Famed suicide doctor Jack Kevorkian didn't let his recent trial get in the way of his busy practice. Here, Kevorkian bids a fond adieu to his latest patient. You know, I've got this scratchiness in my throat. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to finish this. I wish there was somebody else here who could do this newsman job.
Here we see a large, hairy-nosed wombat holding a big stuffed raccoon. At the Grammys this week, Michael Bolton won Best Male Pop Vocal for his remake of When a Man Loves a Woman, and Natalie Cole won for her remake of her dad's Unforgettable. Grammy officials are guessing that songs written this year will win Grammys in the years 2000. After years of entertaining children, Captain Kangaroo has brought a yacht, or, for that matter, bought a yacht, and told everybody to go screw themselves. Just give me 1 second, will you? White supremacist Tom Metzger tells reporters he's not only a member of the Aryan Hair Club, but he's also a client. I've forgotten how I used to end this. Oh, yeah, I gotta think about it. It was some way I had an ending for this.
Chevy, you ignorant slut. Larceny. For you to come on this show and usurp Dennis Miller.
Guess what? That's it. That's the news. I'm Chevy. I'm Helen Reddy, and you're not.
Live on tape, it's the Dennis Miller Show. Tonight, Chevy Chase, rock and roll with Ugly Kid Joe. From Wayne's World, Tia Carrera. This portion of the Dennis Miller Show is brought to you by Pringles. So fresh, once you pop, you can't.
thank Danny for coming in and being our surprise guest. It still gives me a thrill when I see those guys together. It reminds me of those. Yeah, isn't it cool? Yeah. That first year, SNL was, I think, about as funny as it ever gets on television. My first guest is, and you're not, Chevy Chase, folks. Chevy. Mr.
Well,
Chase.
it's good to see one of our own finally doing it.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Chevy. Hey. You know what kills me is that I did that show for 6 years, and every time anybody ever interviewed me, the first question was, what's it like to follow Chevy? Yeah. And I think you only did 23 shows, didn't you, or something?
Yeah, 23 shows. That was it.
Wasn't that weird? Did you do 23 shows 15 years ago, and you make such a dent that to this day, that's all anybody talks about?
Yeah, but you know what? Actually, that's unfair. It's unfair to everybody who's doing that show now. I mean, Mike and Dana and all those guys, and Phil, because you all get the rap of, well, what about the legends, you know, and all that stuff. I mean, that's never been fair.
Yeah.
So you had your way of doing it. I had my way. Jane had her way of doing it. And Kevin does it now. Kevin
yeah, you did it with
Nealon.
him last week, or a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, he does, you know, and it's always in how can I follow, you know, how can I follow Dennis? So, same thing.
Now, looking back, was that like, did you think you left too soon? Was that like...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If I'd known...
No, I mean, just from...
If I'd known you were coming on, I would have stayed a lot longer. Yeah. Yeah, I did miss it. I miss it a lot. And I always regretted it, but I kept quiet about that for a number of years. It was more of, and I think you know that because you knew Lauren well, too, that it was a relatively personal decision that made me leave.
Yeah, it wasn't even showbiz as much as it was you wanted to get
it's not like
married.
I had a lucrative contract out here. I wanted to get married. Mm-hmm. And when...
What a softy Chevy is. He had it all, and he left it for the love of a good woman. Now, when did that marriage end?
Lasted the rest of the year. Kaput, 9 months. Took half of everything I owned.
Yeah, but she got you out of the show.
Yeah. This is a nice set. This is sort of a cross between Twin Peaks and Michael Eisner's house in Aspen. Have you been there?
Oh, I had a better chance actually being the Twin Peaks than I have the Michael Eisner's house, for God's sake.
But the guy who did this, I understand, is the same guy, Leo Yoshimura, who did
Saturday Night
Live. It's a beautiful set, and I'd like to congratulate Leo.
Yeah, Leo.
Let's bring him out here.
Leo always plays
He always played Lieutenant...
in Star Trek.
Who is it?
Lieutenant...
The guy in the front.
Zulu,
yeah.
Yeah,
Leo had been up 4 nights just building the set for Star Trek, and then there he'd be playing Sulu and missing his lines. Well, Belushi and me and Dan had been sleeping all night.
To this day, maybe the 2 funniest sketches on SNL were the original Star Trek. And then the one with Lovitz. Did you see the Lovitz one when Shatner addressed...
Yeah, very funny.
Isn't that funny that both of them were
When you have Shatner, you can't lose.
And that was so great when he said, Shatner finally looked at the people and said, "Get a life."
Yeah.
I think it was a cathartic moment for America at that point.
I think he meant it.
Yes, he did. And by the way, I saw Shatner doing a dramatic reading today of Rocket Man. Have you ever seen this video?
No.
At a science fiction convention, they got him to do a dramatic reading.
Dennis.
It's the best TV I've ever seen in my life. It is the funniest thing. We got to show it to you after the show. I've got a copy of it. Do you ever go back and look at any of the tapes of the old show, or did you just leave
Recently,
it behind?
I did. I recently looked back at some of the early stuff, the Pryor show, and some of the Buck Henry stuff in the L.A. Gould show, and they were very funny. I really got a kick out of them. And times changed, you know. It really, people say, well, the show's not as good, and but it was more that the tenor of the times changed, I think, and it was difficult to deal with comedy during a period when you had a president with the brain of an egg timer, basically.
You and Laura went down and met him, though, right?
Yeah. No, that was Ford. I'm talking about Reagan. I'm talking about the 80s, you know, the entire 80s.
Boy, when you say a president with the brain of an egg timer, I got a whole handful to deal from there.
Ford was the bunt cake.
What was he like when you met him? Did he enjoy the The
He was
thing
a
I loved
very
about you,
pleasant man.
your impersonations were so ballsy because you never made any impression. You never
No.
made any attempt to look
No.
or act like these people.
There are two very bad stand-up comics in this world. I'm not a stand-up. Steve Martin, who is a good stand-up comic, but two of the worst mimics in the world are Steve and I. We just can't and won't even touch it. So I just figured for Ford, it was just hit your head and go, no problem, and that was it. And that covered it. Whereas Dan could do, great Nixon, great Tom Snyder, any of them. He could do great Carter.
Yeah, Danny
Wasn't my thing.
Danny was seamless. Now, tell us about the new film. I saw it last night. I thought it was great, and I went out to...
It's great of you to see it.
It's great that you find that great.
If I may say so, it's great that I'm here. I know you have a clip. It's basically called Memoirs of an Invisible Man. It will always be called that. And
It's great.
based on a novel, and it's great that I made it. And
Is the clip great?
It's terrific, terrific.
Okay,
Let me
what?
explain this clip before we roll it. I'm invisible in it. You can see me. And in the film, you'll see me most of the time because the studio said, we simply don't want to spend $40 million on a film that we can't see you in, Jeff. I was saying, I simply don't want to work. If I could be invisible, I wouldn't have to. But the fact of the matter is, when the audience's point of view is watching my character, they can see me. And I think what you have here is also some kind of B-roll that explains what we're about to do, and then they show the scene as shot.
So you're invisible.
As far as you know.
Thus, the pathos.
There you have it.
All right, let's look at the clip, Memoirs of an Invisible
I don't even know what it is.
Man. B-roll? What the hell is
But he has to look at you to jump back, right? You're just keeping a dead path, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well,
So if
I'm not jumping out of his way.
No, he didn't
he
jump out of
would
me
miss
like
me
that.
anyway.
Yeah. But to make it closer, if you did spot me...
Why not
and
I
jump
spot you and jump out of your way?
Jump out of the way, and I'll just keep right there.
So then when I come up here, I'll take my time this much, and then I'll see you.
And go for
And right about then, I'll be right past the white line right here.
Yeah, and okay.
Dive
Good
out
luck
of the
for
way.
both of us. Okay.
Taxi!
Oh, she had a clip. Where's the clip? Hey, wait a second,
Hey,
man.
wait a minute.
What gives? Where's the clip?
There was no clip. I guess that was just some kind of videotape of us shooting a scene.
Last time
That's not, in fact, the scene in the movie.
Who were those guys? The last time I
have
saw
no
them any
idea.
ponytails,
That was,
it was
John
Josie and the
Carpenter.
Pussycats, for God's sake.
I think you meant Sean Connery, didn't you?
Yes, I
Yeah,
did.
the Pussycat.
We're going to be back with Dr. Chase and discuss Memoirs of an Invisible Man a little more right after this
And
with
your
Chevy
help.
Chase, folks. Bye-bye. Welcome back, Chevy Chase. Geez, I wish they would have sent us an actual clip because there's so many.
I wish they had sent us, is the correct
Yeah.
syntax.
I'm constantly haunted by this man.
I wish I would have would be the conditional subjunctive at the wrong time. I'm just kidding.
All right, conditionally, subjectively. What
No,
the
you're
hell was
right.
with that
I
clip?
wish we had a clip. What was with the clip? We don't have a clip?
There's so many funny, some of the visuals
Yeah.
in there were so funny when you're smoking. Was that some
true.
anti-smick statement there, or what?
A little bit. There's a lot of visual special effects in this, and they are expensive, and they're basically done by the same guys that did Terminator 2 and Predator and The Abyss, and it's a workout. It's a workout on the actor because I had to wear lenses that covered my eyes and black makeup in my mouth and all around my face, and just general junk on me, glycerin and syrup. And Daryl kisses this invisible man who's come out of the rain as if there's nothing on it. I mean, it looks like she's kissing a beautiful image. She's getting crap all over her hand, black all over her face, and it's take after take after take. I mean, it's a tough life.
When she took... Oh, you talk about your conditional subjunctive. Now, when you were out with her at dinner, that was the funniest scene. You look like Jimmy Swaggart or something, or some...
No, a little like Roy Orbison or...
yeah, really bizarre wig.
But these are inside jokes. You have to see the movie, too.
Oh, the movie isn't even out till tomorrow,
It's
right?
not out until... It opens tonight.
Can they go see it, come back, we meet here Saturday and talk about it?
I'd like to be here tomorrow morning.
Okay, sure. We'll do AM Chevy.
Thanks for seeing me.
Now, you were a host one night. Didn't you try this once? Did you find it as difficult as I do sometimes?
I tried it once on Carson, and it was so tough. That's why I watched you your first week, because I thought, I feel for this guy, because I don't think I made eye contact any further than that mic between you and me. Didn't hear a word the other person said. Was only conscious of the fact that it seemed like even the shortest sentence my guest said seemed like an hour. Like, I should be talking, I should be funny now.
Right.
It's time for me to cut in. I haven't talked in a long time. Haven't heard a word they said. I mean, it was just frightening. It's a very scary thing. And you'd think that people such as us who come out of live television, that this would be a snap, but it really isn't. It's very difficult, and you're doing a great job.
Well, thanks, Chevy. You know, thank you. Now you did this one night. You hosted a talk show, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. What happened?
I was doing not paying attention.
I know, and I was just doing Bob and Ray.
Okay, beautiful. Now, Carson, he's the genius at it, isn't he? Jesus, when you watch
Well,
it.
you know.
Oh, I said Jesus. Sorry.
That's all right. I don't think he'll mind. I've known Johnny a long time.
Both JCs.
Yeah, but you know, the thing is it's not a question of who's better. It's a question of what it is about each person individually. What Johnny's great at is making his guests look good.
Right.
This is a very funny guy. He's been doing it a long time, for 30 years. And he's still, in spite of all the stuff you hear about how close to the vest he is and how egotistical and all those things that are rumors, he still makes it his job to see to it that his guest looks good. And that's a very tough thing in making this kind of show work, and he does that well.
Now, you play poker with him and Steve, right?
Yeah, Steve Martin and Carl Reiner and Dan Melnick and Neil Simon and Johnny Carson. It's a very funny game. I have my poker face, which the whole game is this. That way you never know if it's bad or good.
Who's the best bluffer out of that group?
Steve never bluffs.
No.
If he starts betting, you know he's got, you know, a king-high
So
flush.
he's like the jerk when he plays.
That's right. That's right. Johnny's out he's just out. He's out. He's not going to play till he's got a winner. Then he's a big winner. Barry Diller loses thousands, but
he doesn't have to
makes
lose
the game
anymore.
very funny. Yeah, yeah. It's just a fun game, and doesn't take a lot of deep minds to play this game. These are games where, you know, hold a card up your forehead and bet on it, you know, that kind of thing. It's not heavy poker.
Right. Hey, now, did I hear, I thought I heard you, maybe it was on Alan King. He does that fine show on Comedy Central, Inside the Comedy Mind. Were you serious that you might go back to television at some point in the future? Or?
I am now.
But I mean, doing a regular show, I thought I heard
doing it here.
You have any interest in that?
No,
though,
I don't think so. It could happen. It would depend really on the money. And it would depend on the venue. And really, it would depend on whether I could have my way, totally. Be subversive and, you know, do what I want.
I'd imagine if you walk back into TV, they'd write you a blank check as far as doing what you want, though.
I don't know about that. I mean, I've been off for some time, and I make movies now, and, you know, it's a different thing. It's tough. I don't know.
Well, this movie I thought was interesting for you because...
Am I supposed to be looking at you? I can't tell from the setup.
Yeah, it's
whether
little...
I'll be looking
We're
at
trying
you
to work on
more
this.
Toward that.
Well, actually,
Most of this
over
is
that
this.
way.
Okay. Go ahead. Oh, yeah. I can hear
I
you.
thought this last film was great, and it was more like foul play, where you got back to acting instead of just doing Chevy. Sometimes your movies are, you know, it's funny when you do Chevy, but you were definitely playing a character in this one. Is that what you'd like to do in the future?
True. It was more like that. And in fact, the first time I see Goldie in Foul Play, I made a move that once I had filmed Memoirs, I realized was the same exact move I made when I saw Goldie. I was throwing a peanut into my mouth, chewing, and I saw her and stopped. And in this one, I look at Daryl, I'm throwing a peanut in my mouth. I see her and I stop, and it's 10 years later.
Same peanut?
The same peanut.
Everything's recycled in Hollywood.
The whole thing, yeah.
Good to see you, Chevy.
Is that it?
Well, yeah, we got a...
It's worse than Letterman.
Huh?
I didn't even finish the sentence.
I'm sorry, they were finished. Chevy Chase, folks. We'll be right back with Little Joe Kidd.
This portion of the Dennis Miller Show is brought to you by...
Let me get over here. We got that? He's going to have it? Okay, Academy Award nominations are in, and they've already knocked off the plots and titles for the X-rated film community. Look at take a look now at the monthly calendar from the Nude Art Theater right here in Hollywood, California. All right, some of the films coming up. We have Glen Canyon, Thelma on Louise, City Liquors. Edward Scissorglands is coming in. Oh, Madame Bovary and Europa Myropa. It's the foreign film. All Tarts of Darkness. The Last Girl Scout. My Own Private Hoe. Yeah, in the booth, you need not move on to the next one until they discontinue applauding. The Swisher King, stop. Beauty on the Beast. Oh, Jugsy. And J.F. blank blank K. Oh, big one. Hooker. Naked Munch. And a bisexual built for two. So those are some of the films coming up at the New Art Theater. Okay, a little piece of comedy there. My next guest was discovered a la Lana Turner. Who? In a Hawaiian supermarket. She spent 2 years as Jade Sung on General Hospital, and is the excellent Babe in Wayne's World. Tia Carrera, folks. Hey. How are you? Excellent, yeah. Greetings, Jade Sung.
Oh, it's so nice to be here. Thank you.
Was that
No,
what your
I don't really talk like that.
Was that what your character was like, though?
Well,
Soaps are so broad that they actually make you,
well, I cannot sit here further and dishonor my family by listening to this garbage.
that sort of thing. Now, what is this Lana Turner story about? I know she was discovered at Schwab's, or
It's
where did
Schwab's.
they
I wasn't
get you?
discovered there. I was at the food pantry in Waikiki. Ooh, plug.
What
No.
owl?
I'm sorry?
What owl?
On Oahu, the big city.
No. Oh, that's funny. That is so cute. You made a joke. I said, what owl in the store, and you said, what Yeah.
I thought you had an accent, so I sort of...
No. I could see why they picked you for Wayne's World. You got that out there sensibility. So anyway, you're in the store, and what?
Okay.
And tell me the story.
So I'm standing in the checkout stand with a garland of flowers around my head with full makeup. We walk around like this in Hawaii,
Yeah.
so it's not unusual. But this producer's mother and father approached me and said, "Oh, darling, you're gorgeous. You should see my son. He's doing a movie here in Hawaii." And I'm like, "Yeah, right, you know, okay."
What do you mean, yeah, right? Did you think somebody had hired old people to get to come up and fake this so I could score with you? Yeah,
It's a white slavery thing that they do in Hawaii.
Edna, Ike, go hit on her for me.
Okay, all right. I was 17. My mother told me not to take candy from strangers and not to accept movie offers from old people.
Okay.
So I went in and I had no idea what I was doing. I was 17 years old, and I just gave away my age. No, I'm just kidding. So I went in and I read for the part. I had no experience, but I got the female lead in this film called Aloha Summer.
Aloha Summer.
And
Now, that has a little bit of a bee tinge to it. Was it a, well, you know, I'm not denigrating you, but, you know, Aloha Summer sounds like, you know, that...
It was a fun, fancy-free coming-of-age film that opened 5 years after it was done.
The feel-good hit of the decade.
But no, it was great because I got my Screen Actors Guild card out of it. And then I could continue to work. So I moved to LA after that and then got on the soap about 6 months later. So it's like acting fell out of the sky and hit me on the head. And
Yeah,
I said,
because you were a singer, right, at first? Or?
I was singing. I loved to sing so much that I'd enter all the talent contests. There was a talent contest called Brown Bags to Stardom. And I forgot to bring you your double album from 1984, but I couldn't find it. What was I saying?
You were talking about Brown Bags to Stardom. Oh, ignore that.
That happened to Chevy too, didn't it?
It's not the size of the mic. Hey, geez, settle down over there. Now, tell me, how was it working with my old cronies, Mike and Dana? Did you have a blast on that?
It was great. It was a lot of work for me.
Yeah?
It's my first big gig, you know?
Did you know you were going to be the fabulous babe at first, or?
Well, it was weird because,
Or did you know Wayne's World even?
When I first went in for the part, I had seen like a bit of one Wayne's World. I didn't even know what it was called or anything. But when I read the script, I knew exactly what it was all about, and it was great. But I didn't realize until I saw the movie all put together that I was built up to be the ultimate babe, which is sort of a lot of responsibility.
Babitude.
Babitude. Yeah, was it Babelicious?
Babylon, yeah.
In USA Today. I don't know.
I used to sit in the office there when Mike would think of that stuff, and I'd think, I don't know, is this going to go anywhere? And then $35 million in 2 weeks later.
Wow, yeah. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah. Now, what, are you going to go back to singing now, or has the singing video that I saw amplified your music career?
Yes, it has. It's opened up a lot of doors, and we're negotiating right now, so I can bring my music full circle, you know, 8 years later.
And you're getting hitched, too, right? Coming up soon?
I'm getting hitched, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're going to go back to...
But that sounds so negative.
No, I love being hitched. I'm a big fan. Are you going to go back to Hawaii and do that Paradise
Yes, I
Hawaiian
am.
style Elvis thing with the out? You remember Elvis got married in that thing? When I was a little kid, that was the coolest thing, you know? He got married in the outrigger.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, you didn't
What
see?
year
You're
was
from
that?
Hawaii and you didn't see Elvis Blue Hawaii?
No.
You know who Elvis is?
Yeah, they have that new stamp, right?
Yeah. They have two stamps.
They have two stamps.
One's a big airmail stamp. That's from later in life. But come on, folks. Elvis let it go at the end. It's not me. He should have drank some Nutrisystem. Now, all right, Tia. Well, it's good to meet you. And the film's a big hit. Good luck with your marriage. And we'll be right back after this. I think we're going to have Ugly Kid Joe again. All right. I'd like to thank my guests, Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, Ugly Kid Joe. The album is As Ugly as They Want to Be. Tia Carrera, the album is Wayne's World. And, hey, it's the weekend. I'm going to go find Loverboy and live for it. Good night, teenagers. Bye-bye.
How far will the Beast go to protect the woman he loves? Heather Locklear and Louis Jourdan star in The Return of the Swamp Thing. Tomorrow night at 6, only on Channel 5. Now, stay tuned for Monsters next.
KPLA on 45 years of fine-tuning.
Los Angeles, live on tape, it's the Dennis Miller Show. Tonight from Wayne's World, Mike Myers. Doogie Howser's Max Casella. Actor Victor Love. And now, it's him.
I had to wear the hat out because I did an interview the other day and I forgot the name of our affiliate in Philadelphia, so I had to wear their Philly 57 WGBS TV. There, I've made amends with you. Now I'm going to take the hat off because it's incredibly square. And you see, I'm a three-peg head. Who's on that seventh peg, man? I do not want to meet that guy. That is just like a little loaf of bread souffle head man, you know.
I'm a seven-peg man.
No, get out of here,
Give it to me.
Nick.
I'll show you, man. Honest to God. So, you know, I can't wear this comfortably. I got to go all the way to the end. Last peg. Oh, is that comfortable?
Wow.
I have the largest head in show business.
Wow. You know what they say about men with big heads? They think they have big penises. All right. Goldie. Who's sitting in with the band here, Goldie?
Well, we got a couple of guys. Premier trumpet player, film composer extraordinaire, Mark Isham. Yeah. And all week we've had Terry Bozzio on drums. From Jeff Beck, Missing Persons.
Of the missing persons, Del Bozzio, pink hair, missing persons, Bozzio?
That's the one.
Beautiful, all right. Nice to have you here, boys. All right, let's get to the news. You okay? Oh, Wayne's here. I got a knot person in the crowd. All right. Yeah, knothead. All right. Negative campaigning hit a new low in the Democratic race this week when ex-President Jimmy Carter endorsed Bill Clinton. She's brutal out there. Carter called Clinton, quote, an honest, decent, competent, idealistic, practical man. Carter said he left out hypoallergenic and dishwasher safe because he didn't want to lay it on too thick, okay? Bill Clinton's pathetic plan to give his wife Hillary a cabinet job, thereby shedding his image as a lousy husband, has backfired on him. Everyone hated the idea, so now he's just going to, quote, buy her something real pretty. Should have had a tooth blacked out for that one, huh? Sunday go to meeting dress. All right, I'll never make that face again, I promise you. Bill Clinton and Jerry Brown differ on gun control laws. It's now obvious. Brown said he'd try a 5-year ban on the manufacture of handguns, while Clinton wants a mandatory 7-day waiting period on gun sales to jealous husbands. So there's quite a lot of... Clinton and Clarence Thomas's personal lives are so similar they could be golf partners, just not at Clinton's country club. You know, Jerry... Jerry Brown says he always knew that eventually his candidacy would be taken seriously because he read it in the prophecies of Nostradamus. And You know, even though Brown has practically asked Jesse Jackson to be his vice president, Jackson won't even endorse him for the presidency. Ouch. You know, that's like when you tell someone you love them and they say, oh, that's nice. New York City, Detroit, and Washington, D.C., 3 cities hit hardest by unemployment, crime, and dwindling federal funds, have officially seceded from the United States of America and declared themselves Russian commonwealths in a desperate attempt to be eligible for $24 billion in aid from the Bush administration. And, anybody remember the good old days when we just hated each other, the Russians, huh? Former President Richard Nixon called Bush's huge aid package to Russia, quote, pathetically inadequate. Well, for God's sakes, when did Dick Nixon become our social conscience, huh? Why don't we just dig up Bruno Hauptmann and see what he thinks about the package? I can't believe Nixon called it inadequate. I think the aid package is as pathetically inadequate as his presidency was. You know, in Libya yesterday, thousands gathered outside foreign embassies, rioting, throwing rocks, burning cars. No protest, just Wednesday. And here's a weird story. A tremendous 38-acre fungus. Did you see this bizarre outer limits story? They found a 38-acre fungus growing underneath Michigan. Scientists say the giant mushroom is what caused the United States to hallucinate and think we were doing well during the Reagan and Bush years. Yeah, Clinton had a little, but he didn't swallow. Yeah. Imagine this, a fungus thousands of years old, covering 30 acres, and we just discovered it. Kind of makes you think we need to get a few of our scientists out of the weapons lab, huh? See, this in the news, Mike Ovitz, president of the CAA, topped Premier Magazine's annual Top 100 Most Powerful People in Hollywood edition again yesterday. Ovitz said he doesn't take this stuff seriously. He had to go behead a member of his staff. And, wow, he is powerful. I feel like Joe Esterhaus all of a sudden. And finally, General Motors said its top executive did not receive bonuses last year because the company lost $4.5 billion. You know, you lose $4.5 billion, you should not only turn in your key to the executive washroom, you should start cleaning it, okay? Tonight, my guests are from Wayne's World, Mike Myers, folks. My stick. And who else we got? From Doogie Howser, Max Casella. Try to hit that. And from the Hank Gather story, Victor Love. I'm gonna try to hit that lens. Bring it down low. Victor Love, give him a hand. Oh. I think I got too much curve on this baby. All right. I'm not fucking around. We'll be right back, folks. Thank you. Welcome back, folks. You know, the further you are from your last dentist appointment, the closer you are to your next. There we have the topic for tonight's for and against going to the dentist. The case for going to the dentist, he gives you laughing gas. Against, his gas is no laughing matter. I don't much like that image. That was my lame attempt at a British accent. Can you believe it? Oh, God, I lack that chromosome. The case for, he shoots you full of so much Novocaine you can't feel your face. Against, he starts feeling your face. Case 4, the filling of the cavities. Against, it hurts like a son of a bitch. Case 4, you get to sit in a huge chair with all sorts of gadgets connected to it. Against, some of the gadgets were used as prototypes in the film Dead Ringers. Obi-Wan Kenobi. The case 4, a piece of sugarless gum for being a good patient. Against, the gum falls out of your Novocaine-numbed mouth and you unknowingly spend an hour gnawing away at your own tongue. Case 4, if you don't go, your teeth may rot. Against, you're British. Nobody cares. And case 4, the final rinse and spit. Against, that embarrassing 3-foot-long rope of saliva that hangs from your lip until you reach the door of your suburban home. And finally, the case 4, going to the dentist, the opportunity to have a trained medical expert look into your mouth. Against, looking into his booger-laden nostril. When I got into this business, I always had a dream I'd say booger-laden on TV one day. All right, nice guy here, riding the crest of an American phenomena. He isn't seeing much of a profit from it. Not! Please welcome Mike Myers, folks. Mikey!
Well, I played a good first period. All I tried to do was just play my game, you know.
Hockey night in Canada. We're with Barclay Plager. Bark.
Well, you know, Frank Mahovlich just passed me. I was in the slot. That's, if you watch hockey, you laugh so hard at that.
Hey, what do you think of the strike? I know you're a hockey fiend. This has got to rip your guts out.
Oh.
The Leafs.
The Leafs. I'm so bummed. Leafs and Kings. Maybe we can both exist in the same world, huh? We're 4 points behind Minnesota. I'm so bummed.
The Leafs were moving on the last playoff spot,
We had
right?
the best second part of a season of... No, honestly, you'd be quite interested. It's the best second part of a season of any Leaf team I've seen in a long time, so I'm really proud of them.
Have they adopted you, sort? Has the team anybody adopted you as sort of their mascot?
No, I met them, and they were really, really nice. I got to meet Wendell Clark and Gilmore and all those guys. So
It's not the old Leafs, though, is it?
Well,
No Davy Keon, no Armstrong. It's just not like the old days, Bucky.
Pellick, Favell.
Let's get a little...
I remember the old days.
So what have you been doing lately?
Well, I did the Oscars on Monday.
Yeah, how was that?
Oh, man. It was an out-of-body experience. It was amazing. It's all these famous people and stuff. I got interviewed by Mexican television, which was neat. Because...
Did you have to tuck into a can of corn, or what?
Joke. Distancing from joke. From Canada. No, it was really great because she was like, it was a music television show in Mexico, so it was like, Eslandos mismo Wings World. Party on. Could you introduce I'm Too Sexy? So I had to go, I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred. Wayne's World. And that was it. So it's very bizarre.
Who else did you meet? Who'd you meet backstage? Big stars? Are they all Wayne's World freaks?
I don't know. I didn't go up to them. Hi, you seen my movie?
I thought they might have come up to you.
Oh, some people
seems to be
did.
sweeping
I
this.
don't know.
I just love the thought of Audrey Hepburn coming up.
Can I say something?
I'm about to hurl!
That's right. I have one word to say to you, and that's swing.
You didn't know where I was going. I led you into a big spill.
Thank you very much. Ow! Ow!
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, I have to admit, I have to have egg on my face because I'll admit
He
to
used
the
to call
crowd.
it Wally's World.
I was not a big Wayne's World fan.
No.
Early on in the game, I was a Dieter fan.
Yes,
I always
no.
thought Dieter would be the breakout character.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, I think when Mike was talking to me backstage, he said he would like to make a Dieter film. Now, that's what I would love. It would be like the European underground version
I
of
just
Wayne's
want to do
World.
every European movie I've ever seen where somebody has like a 30-second pause before they speak. 'Cause it'd be like, it would be like, I have always loved you, with the, I love you. And then there'll be like this pause. Thank you. And as if like an American audience could handle that. It'd be like, talk!
Give me a little of the character in the tub, too. That was always my
Simon?
second favorite. Yeah, Simon, the little kid in the tub?
It's based on all of my cousins growing up. They used to come over to Canada, and they were all really interesting because they had English accents. And I'd be sitting there going, hi, I'm from Canada. And they'd go, I like to do drawings. And then everybody in the whole neighborhood would go, oh, that's so cute. Don't look at my bum.